Yes, so in the last lecture, we discussed the equivalent circuit of three-phase induction motor. Today, we will discuss the computation and construction of circle diagram for induction motor. So we know that for a small capacity motor, the direct load test is very good because it will give the correct value. It will give the facility to examine the vibration, temperature rise of motor or sparking somewhere. But if the capacity of motor is very high, it is quite difficult to test the three-phase induction motor in the lab. So the second method is the indirect method. In this indirect method, only no load data and block rotor test data is useful for calculating the different losses in the motor as well as efficiency and its speed for the different load condition. So indirect method is the method where only no load test, that is a light run test, or without any load the motor is tested, so that is a no load test. And second test is the block rotor test. It is similar to the short circuit test on the transformer. So here the rotor is kept stationary, and carefully we will apply the reduced voltage. It starts from 0. As soon as it circulate, stator circulate the full load current of the motor as per the nameplate, that will be the short circuit current under reduced voltage. And from this two data to this, from these two tests, different parameter can be found out. Now, we found that the equivalent circuit of a three-phase induction motor can be represented by referring all the parameters, that is a rotor resistance and rotor reactance, to the primary side. So this is the exciting, this is the shunt component of the equivalent circuit. Voltage applied is V1, current is I1 in the stator side, and this current is I2 dash. Suppose this is the I2 dash, or which is referred to the primary side. The resistance R01 is the addition of stator resistance plus rotor resistance referred to the stator. Similarly, the reactance X01 is X1 plus X2 dash. X2 dash is the rotor reactance referred to the stator side, and this is the load resistance. Again, it is referred to the this one. Now, this is one concept is that suppose a reactance or resistance, one resistance and one reactance, it is connected to the voltage source. It is connected with voltage source, and this resistance is variable. So the current, say this is the voltage and current is I. So current I is equal to V upon V upon Z, where Z is the impedance. Z is the impedance. This is the value of R, this is the value of X, and this is the impedance Z. Okay, this is the impedance Z, and this angle is theta. Okay, so which can be written as V upon R square plus X square under root. So this is the simple current. Now I can be written as V upon X multiplied by X upon under root Z under root R square plus X square. Just I am writing, rearranging the equation by multiplying the reactance and dividing by the reactance. So current value will remain as it is. Now here sine theta is equal to X upon Z from this diagram, okay, which is equal to X upon under root R square plus X square. So this equation, current I is equal to V upon X, and this value is equal to sine theta. So this is the equation of circle diagram where the diameter is equal to V upon X, and the current is going to locate, or the locus of the current, by varying the voltage by locus of the current, it will give the say circle, isn't it? Or tip of the current is nothing but the circle over there. So suppose now see here in this our equivalent circuit, this is equivalent circuit. Suppose we ignore the shunt component, so it consists of resistance, okay, and reactance, and again variable resistance. So it is equivalent to the a series circuit having reactance and resistance where the resistance is variable. So we can say that the tip of I2 or the tip of I2, which is referred to the stator side, or total the current I1. If you ignore this exciting component or say shunt component, the current I1 give the tip of the I1 is give the circular construction, and hence therefore the name become a circle diagram of a three-phase induction motor. Okay. Now this is the concept behind the how to develop the circle diagram is going to develop with the tip of current for this value. Okay. Now we want two type of test. One is the open circuit test, that is called as a no load test, and second is called as a short circuit test, or it is a block rotor test. So we are using the terminology which is similar to the three-phase transformer or transformer test, open circuit test and short circuit test. Open circuit test is nothing but the no load test. Short circuit test is nothing but the block rotor test. Okay, here it is a three-phase induction motor, delta connected three-phase induction motor. It may be delta connected, it may be star connected. There is no problem at all. To measure the different parameters like voltage, current, and power, there are ammeter is connected. This is the AC ammeter. For example, the capacity of motor is 5 HP. I'm just taking 5 HP, 400 volt, 50 hertz, 4-pole induction motor. This is the some basic specification of the motor. And as it is a 5 HP, that is a 3.75 kilowatt. It is nothing but kilowatt. Output of the motor is 3.75 kilowatt. It is a 5 HP means 5 HP is equal to say 3.75 kilowatt. So the kilowatt of the motor is this one, and the full load current is, suppose it is a 7.5 ampere. Okay, this may be a different value, but just we are taking up some example over this one to select the proper value of ammeter range and voltmeter range. So the current is we will take for the no load test. For we will take the no load test. This no load test, it is the current is taken as the current will be very small, so we will take 0 to 5 ampere range of ammeter. Okay, voltmeter we are applying the rated voltage, so it is a 600 voltmeter, because voltmeter is available either 300 volt or 600 volt, because we are measuring the voltage between phase to phase. This is the auto transformer for varying the input voltage, so it is a auto transformer. There are 2 wattmeter to measure the three-phase power. W1 and W2 is the wattmeter. Generally, wattmeter is say it is a 5 by 10 ampere. 10 ampere is the current range, and 300 by 600 volt is the voltage range. So we will select here a 5 ampere, and rated voltage is 400, so 600. So by selecting the proper scale of the wattmeter, we can find out this one. Now under no load test, we are going to measure rated voltage. We are applying the rated voltage. So V0, I0, and W0. 0 stand for the no load current, where V0 is the rated voltage. Because under no load condition, no load test of the transformer or open circuit test of the transformer, it is going to conduct to determine the iron losses or no load losses. So similarly here, under no load condition, whatever the power input to the three-phase induction motor is utilized to overcome the iron losses, windage and frictional losses. That is the mechanical rotational losses and iron losses. The current drawn by the motor at no load condition is very small, so the copper losses, stator copper losses are small, or it is negligible, 0, isn't it? So the rate voltage should be a rated one. So rated voltage is there. A current is very small. It may be a 7 to 8 to 10 or 8 to 12% of its rated value. And W0 we are going to measure. Okay. So under such condition, definitely when the rated voltage is 400, So there is a 400 volt is going to measure the current, may be a say 1.3 or 1.5 ampere is the current, and power is going to measure this one. So from the no load data, V0, I0 and W0, where V0 is the rated voltage, I0 is the no load current, and W0 is the this one. So we can say that W0 is used is the indicate the constant losses, is indicate constant losses, okay, which is the combination of iron losses plus rotational losses. Now block rotor test. Block rotor test. Block rotor test. In block rotor test, the rotor is hold stationary, means by means of some belt and pulley arrangement, or by using hand or something. Rotor is kept stationary, and very reduced voltage is going to apply from the zero. We will increase the voltage from 0 to till it will circulate the full load current. Now the current is 7.5 ampere, so definitely the current range should be 0 to 10 ampere. Similarly here, the wattmeter, the current will be 0 to, say it is a 10 ampere by 300 volt. Why we are taking the 300 volt? Because we are applying the reduced voltage. So under such condition, to give the proper resolution of the voltmeter, ammeter and wattmeter, the scale should be selected properly. And here the voltage will be very small, then either we can select it to the 300 voltage. So it will easy to measure because it will give the proper deflection. Okay. So under a block rotor test, the voltage is the reduced voltage. So we will represent that VSC, it is the short circuit voltage or block rotor voltage. Whereas the current is the short circuit current ISC, but the short circuit current is the rated current. We will increase the voltage, the applied voltage is going to increase till it will circulate the full load current. So here it is a rated one, which is given on the nameplate reading. So it is a rated, and here WSC. Now say for example, the voltage is 95 volt is there. Okay, reduced voltage is there. As compared to 400, it is a 95, or it may be less than 95, say it is a 65 volt is there. At this 65 volt, the current is 7.5 ampere, that is the rated one, and there will be some losses are there. So definitely these losses, the whatever the power indicated by 2 wattmeter W1 plus W2 is the short circuit, under short circuit condition or block rotor condition, is the copper losses which occur in the stator winding as well as the rotor. So rotor is stationary. It acts as a secondary short circuited transformer. The current is going to circulate. The reflected current is going to come into the stator winding. So here the voltage is very small, and we know that the iron losses is depend upon the voltage. So voltage is small, so we can say that iron losses in the stator circuit as well as rotor circuit is neglected. Speed is no question of speed, so the rotational losses are 0. So under short circuit condition, whatever the power consumed by the circuit is due to the copper losses in induction motor. So it is the total copper losses, Cu loss. This Cu loss including the stator Cu loss plus rotor Cu loss. So it is the stator Cu loss plus rotor Cu loss. So both losses, copper losses, are going to measure under such condition. Okay. So this is the case where we have found out, we have conducted the 2 tests. One is the no load test and second is the block rotor test. Now with the help of these 2 tests, which requires hardly 5 to 10 minutes to conduct these tests, these only 6 reading is useful to calculate the copper losses, stator losses. It may be the torque, maximum input, maximum efficiency, and all parameter, whatever the, or we can say that these 6 readings is useful to determine the performance characteristic of 3-phase induction motor as well as to develop the equivalent circuit of 3-phase induction motor. Okay. Now we will start the calculation. Now, once we know the no load test, this is no load test, and second is the block rotor test. This test is the V0, no load test, V0, I0, W0, and whereas it is a VSC, ISC, and WSC. These are the nomenclature we are using for no load test and block rotor test. Now calculations. Calculations from the no load test, from no load test, from this no load test, W0 is equal to √3, because it's a three phase, √3 V0 I0 cos of theta 0. So therefore cos of theta 0 is equal to W0 upon √3 V0 I0, and hence we can calculate theta 0 is equal to cos inverse of W0 upon √3 V0 I0. So our objective is to calculate no load power factor angle. So this is no load power factor angle. This is one parameter. Second, similarly, phi SC, short circuit power factor angle or block rotor power factor angle, is cos inverse of WSC divided by √3 VSC ISC. So it is the block rotor power factor angle. So now these two values we found. Okay, from this no load test and block rotor, both tests are there. Okay, now here the no load, the short circuit current ISC is at reduced voltage. Yeah, carry. Here the VSC is small, it is not a rated voltage. So therefore, the short circuit current at rated voltage, ISCN, this is at normal voltage, ISCN is equal to, just a minute, ISEN, N stand for the normal voltage. Okay, so it is equal to, what would be that value? This value is the reduced voltage. So if the short circuit test is conducted at rated voltage, what would be the current? Definitely it is very high. At 65 volt, it will circulate 7.5 ampere. Now suppose 400 volt is going to apply, definitely it is 60, it is the multiple of these values. So it is, therefore we can say that it is equal to ISC, short circuit current, multiplied by V rated at rated voltage divided by VSC. That is, suppose here it is the 7.5 volt, just I'm writing as an example over there. So it is 75 multiplied by V rated, that is 400 volt, okay, divided by 65 volt. So that will be the short circuit current under short circuit current at rated voltage. So we have found the short circuit current under rated voltage, this one. Similarly, this power WSC is the short circuit power at reduced voltage. So definitely, if the short circuit current will be very high under rated voltage condition, short circuit power will be a rated voltage. Under rated voltage condition will be WSCN. N stand for the normal voltage. When normal voltage is going to apply, so VSC multiplied by V rated, that is a rated voltage of the motor as per the nameplate, divided by VSC, as the copper losses is square of current, so it is square. So this is the short circuit power at rated voltage and short circuit current at the rated voltage is there. Now we will start developing the circle diagram. We'll take the 1 centimeter. Suppose 1 centimeter is equal to 2.5 ampere is the current scale. So on the graph paper, we are taking this value, that is 1 centimeter is equal to 2.5 centimeter. Okay. Now start developing the circle diagram. So on what would be the, okay, first of all, what would be the short circuit current? So you can say that, for example, I0 is equal to, if it is a 77.5 ampere, so I0 is equal to 3 centimeter. Similarly, if the current is say 21 ampere, so ISC is equal to some 7 centimeter. Okay, so it means that we have to take the scale 1 centimeter is equal to how much centimeter, how much ampere, and from this one we are going to find out the no load current scale. What would be the no load current in centimeter and what would be the short circuit current in the centimeter. So now start developing the construction of the circle diagram. So it is very interesting. It gives the many data from this only the circle diagram. So we will take the x-axis and y-axis. Say this is the, we assume that this is the voltage V1. Say this is the voltage is V1. So V1 is there. The current I0 is lagging by this angle theta 0. This angle is nearly 90. Say we will write as a theta 0 is nearly 85 degree. Okay, and theta SC is nearly say 65 degree. Okay, this is the example I am taking to draw the circle diagram. Whatever the value, it is from the calculation. If from this calculation, but in calculation we found that the theta 0 is a higher angle because under no load condition, and theta SC is a somewhat smaller than the this one. So first of all, the no load current, which is equal to say 3 centimeter as per the current scale, 3 centimeter at an angle of theta 0. So this value is taken as no load current I0. This is the no load current I0, and this is at an angle of theta 0. So this angle is equal to theta 0. This angle is equal to theta 0. Okay. Now what is the next? Next is, no doubt, with the help of compass box or with the help of this one, you are going to take this angle is with reference to the V1 here. Okay. Now second is the ISC, short circuit current, whose magnitude is very high as compared to the no load current, and it is lagging by 65 degree, means which is less than this one. So we will take this one. Okay, this one. This is the no load short circuit current having large in magnitude. Say this is the current over this one, and this angle is the, this angle is theta SC. This angle is theta SC. So now we will give the name as, this point is O dash, this point is O dash, and this point is A. Okay, join these 2 points. Join these 2 points. and give the name as a output line. Join these 2 points, and this is nothing but the output line. So this line is the output line. I will write here, it is a output line. Okay, now draw a parallel line to the x-axis line which originates from the point O0. So from this point, draw the line, which is parallel to the x-axis. Okay, now find the center of line O dash. Kya karna hai? What we want to do? We want to say find out the center of line OA dash, center of line O dash A, either by bisection method or by measuring the center of the line. Okay, it is good for the bisection method, and by drawing this bisection method, draw the projection over this center of the point. You will locate the center. Now C is the center. Now C is the center. Somewhere here C is the center. Take the distance from C to A or C to O dash and draw half circle. So I will try to draw this half circle. So this will be the half circle, but okay, it is not possible with this one. I will draw a free hand. So this will be the half circle. So like that. The circle will be correct only when which touches the point O dash and A. If somewhere is mismatch, the meaning is that there is a mistake in taking the center of the line OA and drawing the projection or this line. So this is the line which make the projection over this one, 90 degree, and whatever the intersection of this line at the line, that point is called as a C, and this will be the half circle. Okay, now draw a line from A to the up to x-axis. Say this is x-axis up to this one, and now we will locate the point H. We will locate the point H over here. So this is the point H. So A, H, B, F. This is B and F. Now the location of point H, is decided if it is assumed that the stator copper losses is equal to the rotor copper losses. It is a stator Cu loss is equal to rotor Cu loss, then H will be the center of AB. Otherwise, if it is given that the stator losses are 60%, then the rotor copper losses at standstill condition, then stator losses that from B to H will be the 60% of length AB. Are you getting? For simply, it is assumed that if the losses are equal, stator copper losses and rotor copper losses are equal at standstill condition, H will be the center of AB. Otherwise, whatever the relation is given, 60%, 20%, 50%, 80%. So we will locate the point, this one. Now join the point O dash to the H. O dash to the H. And this line is called torque line. This line is called as a torque line. Okay. This line is called as a torque line. Now, for further action, there are two methods. If suppose in the numerical full load current is given, we can locate the point P, that is the operating point P, or if the output power is given, output of the motor is given, then we can locate the point P by different way, isn't it? Say, for example, first we will take now here we will going to calculate the power scale. So here the power scale is equal to, it is the WSC at normal voltage divided by length AB. This length is AB, right? Because it will indicate the short circuit copper losses. WSC is the copper losses. So under rated voltage, this is would be the copper losses. So by dividing this power to the length of AB, so it will give the 1 centimeter is equal to how much? 3,500 watt. 1 centimeter is equal to 2,500 watt. Whatever it may be the values over this one. So this is called as a power scale. Now, if you know the power is equal to 3.75 kilowatt is the output power. Can we convert into the centimeter? Okay, by dividing the current, by dividing the power scale, the output power also comes into the is centimeter. So by converting into the centimeter, power is converting into the centimeter. We can extend this how much, whatever the value of this point S is there, and that is nothing but the output of motor. Output of motor in centimeter. Now draw a parallel line. Draw a parallel line to the output line. This is your output line, which initiate from S, and draw the parallel line to the output line in the proper way. And whatever this point intersect over the circle, definitely it will intersect two sides. But whatever that point intersect point here, and this point is known as point P. And if you join this point from the origin, this origin, so this will indicate the full load current. So this will indicate the full load current, and angle between voltage and full load current, that will be the power factor angle or operating power factor angle of induction motor. So this is the way up to this one. Now draw a parallel line to the output line. Draw parallel line to the output line. Say I will draw with the black color from point P to the till end. So this is this one. Okay. Now we'll give the name as P. This is Q. This point is Q. This point R. Okay, this point is R. S, T, U. Okay, so from P to R, which is equal to S to A, that is the output. So this much from P to R is the output power in centimeter. This is rotor copper losses at standstill. So the length of output line, the length of line which is subtended between rotor copper losses. So R to S is indicating the rotor copper losses at full load condition. H to B, it indicates the stator copper losses. So from S to U, S to T will indicate, that is in centimeter, it's say 0.2 centimeter, 0.3 centimeter multiplied by the power scale. That will give the power into this one. Now B to F or T to U is nothing but the constant losses, which will represent this one. So what is the next, in the next lecture, we will see the calculation from this circle diagram. So from the next lecture, what we will do, again, we will draw this one, and we will write each and everything which quantity is called as a copper losses, stator losses, and how to find the speed of the motor, as well as what would be the efficiency of the motor, and so on.